Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today we are checking out the upcoming mech brawler Underdogs. Now I'm really excited to show off this game because it's absolutely dripping with style and it's honestly way more impressive than I thought it was going to be. Now feel free to not believe me on that because this is once again sponsored content. The developers asked me to check out this game, but honestly I was super pumped to jump into it. I heard good things and I was not disappointed. So today I'll let you know everything you need to know about this game, and let's not waste any time, starting off with the basic information. Underdog is a mature themed, brutal physics-based mech brawler with roguelike elements. It releases on January 25th for the Meta Quest and PCVR at $29.99, and there's currently a 10% pre-order discount that also includes a little bit of bling for your mech. This game is brought to you by the makers of Racket NX, and I'm glad to see they use their talents in a completely different direction. Now before I get into what actually makes this game so good, I just want to mention that the developers are actually giving away 10 Quest 3s to help promote this title. There's a link to that down in the description, but let's move into what makes this game so damn good. Like I said in the intro, this game is absolutely dripping with style. Everything from those comic book style cutscenes to the in-game cel-shaded graphics, the fantastic original soundtrack, and the vulgar dialogue. Underdogs takes you to a dystopian future controlled by an AI. The last free city of humanity is basically one giant underground robot fighting pit that's definitely not for the squeamish. The overall aesthetics match this dark, gritty world perfectly. The in-game dialogue also emphasizes the fact that everyone seems to be living on borrowed time and is basically only out for themselves. But all of this is only a small aspect of what makes the game so good, and what truly shines here is the combat and overall gameplay mechanics. Underdogs is completely physics-based, and it encourages you to make big sweeping motions in order to inflict maximum damage.
What's the key element with the whole exploding after death thing? You seeing those? This Scott's equipment is the coldest, bruv.
But you could also jab at your enemies to help keep distance, drop some brutal hammer-style strikes, or even ram right through them at full speed. A furious and unrelenting onslaught is highly recommended, as it's the easiest way to stun your enemies and then pick them apart while they have no defense. Additionally, there's plenty of traps set throughout the arena that you could use to inflict maximum damage. Now, another major aspect of the combat is the fact that you get to change your mech's equipment. You could go for things like maximum damage. Some items have pros and cons, so you do more head damage and less body damage, but one thing that I personally loved was the finger attachment. Now your hand is not going to do nearly as much damage, but it gives you a lot more options. You can actually pick up your enemies and just smack them into the ground, or throw them into the grinder, pick up things like broken down cars that are on the battlefield and throw them at your enemies. It is a great option that just gives you a lot more versatility. Now, before I move on to the other aspects of this game, I just want to give you the best combat comparison that I have to offer. It's kind of like a very serious version of Gorn. If you've ever played Gorn, it's got that slapstick combat where you're smacking enemies all around an arena, throwing them into spike pits, but that, is childish and silly and cartoony. This is, if someone said, we kind of like the combat there, we want it more serious, we want it to feel more weighty, not be as rubbery, and then we want to make the overall theme just much more gritty and mature. That's the best way I could describe it. Now, when you're not in combat, this game has multiple different roguelike elements. You'll have the option to shop for new parts, go out and look for some trouble, which is basically a risk versus reward RNG, where you may end up finding some new parts or costing yourself some money. Additionally, there'll be different ways to raise your rep with multiple patrons, all of which have access to specific mech parts. There's a massive array of different upgrades, and the higher your rep, the stronger the upgrades you'll have access to. Now, like any other roguelike, the items you can buy and the ones awarded to you after a match is completely randomized. Between each fight, you also have to decide if you want to spend your money on repairs or brand new parts. And then it's back into the arena fighting bigger and bigger battles until you eventually go up against some other guerrilla-style mechs.
Ready for the first championship? Hurting. Keep cracking that button. Revving up again.
Now, I did want to spend a minute talking about the Locomotion here because it is kind of unique and did once again remind me a little bit of Gorn. As a gorilla style mech, they kind of really leaned into that. You're kind of knuckling down and pulling yourself forward. You're not using the thumbstick to move around. Instead, you use the controller grips to say you want to clamp down with your arm, and then you push off the ground. So you're pushing yourself around. Might sound awkward, but it actually feels really good. Additionally, this game could be absolutely exhausting. It's not up there as much as Thrill of the Fight and Until You Fall. Those are the games I consider probably the most exhausting, but it's pretty high on that scale. And after about an hour of this game, I was toast. I needed a break. I was in a sweat. So if you like physically engaging titles, this is definitely one. So I'm pretty sure I covered just about everything this game has to offer. Dark, gritty world with cool cutscenes, these gorilla style mechs that you're going to battle with. You're going to upgrade them over time. There's some RNG on the parts you can unlock. You're going to raise your rep with patrons, get bigger and better equipment, fight for as long as you can, starting with like smaller bots that you're going to be beating. They call the original ones roaches. They basically look like roaches. Then things that are more like lion style, and then eventually other gorilla mechs with a person inside who doesn't want to die, so he's going at you at full force. And the game just proceeds like that. You get a little bit more of the storyline, and so on and so forth, until you either make it to the end or die. And I guarantee you're going to die a bunch of times like I did. So let me just finish this off with a few more clips to show you a little bit more about the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Let's get him in the spikes. Woo! They got me cornered back here, unfortunately. Come on! Right out of the air. Let's go. Oh, damn. A little overconfident. Here we go, hailing for trouble. Little RNG action here. Hell yeah. The plow basher. So now when we drive into guys, we throw them up in the air. So patrons, they will basically give you different rewards. Grabbing stun gear, physical damage gear. Alright, so let's apply what we got here. So this doesn't do as much damage, but I can grab objects. Hell yeah. I love it too. Aw, almost. Come on, cockroach. Let's go. You, get over here. Hell yeah. Oh no. Some boomers. Oh no, we don't want to fight them when they're turbocharged. Wonder if I can grab them. Hell yeah. Right out of the air. Oh, too close. I wrecked my arm. Alright, lesson learned. Oh!
And that was it, guys. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and drop a thumbs up. If you have any additional questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you're new here, consider subscribing.